Hey, welcome to the Profit Engine Show. I am your host, Matt Coffey. We talk about all things related to building profit engines for your business through digital marketing. I've successfully built a 7-figure agency. Practice Bloom is our medical side. Customer Bloom is our standard side. We are here to help you get educated on the things that have made us successful, made our clients successful, and will make you successful. So stay tuned for this podcast where we'll go through case studies and strategy and all things related to help grow your business. Hey, it's another episode of Profit Engines, and this is a special episode. I want to thank all of the people who are listeners, who have, especially you right now who's listening. This is the evolution of my business, the company, and sort of the next step. So as you can see here, I'm in the middle of starting the final entry into getting a book done about our experience in building profit engines for customers and for ourselves. And this is the curiously simple 7-step model that will drive massive revenue, generate predictable profits, and grow your business fast. We've had a tremendous amount of positive experiences with lots of customers, and I'm going to be sharing them in this book along with the methodology that we use and some of the theory around what we've done that has been successful. And I want to break it down into some steps so that you can follow along. And as we move through the Profit Engines strategy, we are going to be providing a community around this, which will be something that will come out next year. And we will be also having a very important strategy around teaching the principles that we've learned and the things that are making other companies grow quickly along with ourselves. And, we've come along this journey, become a 7-figure company with our agencies, Practice Bloom and Customer Bloom. And what we've learned is that it ain't so simple. I wish it was a lot easier, but we've had to go through, I think, those initial steps of climbing the hills and mountains to get to where we need to go now. So really, it's all about the market itself. So taking a look at your market. What are the drivers? What are the forces? What are the elements in that market, the demographics, the avatars? Thinking about the whole range of things that goes through your customer's head as they go through and make their purchasing decisions. And that's based off of a lot of what I call the Cialdini effect, which is the principles around copywriting and good strategy of finding the right models to build your information so that you're having a mental impact on your customer. You're taking them from where they really reside, which is in fear, and then taking and crossing them into relief that the results that they're looking for are going to be generated from your services or your product. The next is to build the offer. So the offer is sort of the core of how do you build strategy into a market where you are going to now be price comparison or service comparison, and thinking about how that's going to be effective for your customer and how that's going to be compared to your next competitors or your next, you could say your general atmosphere of how the offer works in the market. And this obviously resolves itself on making sure that your strategy on building the next level of content, which is our third slice here, really is at the end of the day how we're going to be able to capture the attention, whether it's an SEO solution or if it's a social solution or any content you're going to deliver into the market, how you're going to be able to now take that and build your infrastructure around, I guess you could say, the plumbing of language to get people to pay attention and to agree with you. Number 4 is systems and automation tools. We pride ourselves on really this element alone in our agencies because a lot of people will come to us and say they just want to have profit engines. And what they really mean by that is they want to have the automation tools that create leverage. And this is the key when you start talking about building businesses that will scale with what you're trying to accomplish, which is you really can't be in every single person's conversation in their head, but your systems and your automation tools can do a lot of the heavy lifting in the background. So we've come to the conclusion that whether you're using the standard issue MailChimps of the world, or you're using highly sophisticated stuff that we use that are much more intricate in just than the basic surface level email drip campaigns and so forth to get customers down a funnel. Really, what we're talking about is creating systems that almost self-heal. Even if you screw up, they get the customer to come back. And I think that's where we found that, especially with our dealing with a lot of medical professionals who have very limited staff, we've had to create systems that literally put people into chairs for them. And that has been our real sticking point in a lot of conversations that we've had. For ad management, which is the next part of this dialogue, is the core of your, guess you could say, gas for the engine, right? So if you have a good spend and you have good ad management and you have good strategies around pay-per-click marketing from AdWords, social media marketing with Facebook and Instagram especially, YouTube, even into some of the LinkedIn world. I mean, there is so much that you can do today, but you have to manage it because it gets very quickly eaten up if you don't do it properly. So we're going to have a very intense core strategy around how to run ad management and how to properly set it up with your offer. The next is communication and sales strategy. This has been a sort of revolution of the Profit Engines model that we've had to embrace as we've started this a few years ago, building these very articulate sales funnels out or marketing funnels out. What we learned very quickly was that no matter what you had for your marketing funnel or your sales funnel, it didn't matter, because at the end, the human still has to put someone into an emotional conversation about what the challenge is that they're facing. Not all the time, but what we found was that if we could help with building sales strategy, scripting, building the communication tools, which is part of the automation system and part of the overall system, that has helped tremendously push people through or take people from problem to resolve through the tools that we're using. And then number 7 is reporting and tuning on your profit engine. And that's really the last piece that is so important, because at the end of the day, you have to measure, because what gets measured gets affected and gets results. So you really have to think about reporting your cost per lead, your cost to run your engine, and how you're improving that, how you're getting better yields, more profit out of it by tuning it. And that could be tuning in any of these different types of sectors that are 1 through 6, market, offer, content, systems, ad management, and communication. All of those things can be tuned and looked at and tested and A/B tested or variant tested so that you can get a better process built. And we are always continually improving, especially with the partners that we have with some of the tools that we've initiated, with really starting to think where we can provide customers with the biggest impact. So this is the last slide. So if you just hang with me, I will go through this. It's an updated version of our original Profit Engines workflow. But what you can see here is I've kind of color-coded things if you are watching this on a video, but I'll describe it if you're listening to an audio. There's the initial impact of social content, paid ads, SEO, and content that comes in as a initial set of circumstances. Retargeting is part of that. We've always asked people about making sure that their retargeting is set up. And next is the landing page offer, which is the middle part here, which, as you can always see, is the most impactful of all of these, which is where your journey for your customer really starts after they've found you through the content. And we've got email systems that are impacted as well, which bring us connections to the CRM and the COM portal, which are all part of that sort of initial tool sets. Data collection and initial conversions, those are the things that happen that get instituted as you go through the landing page or as the customer goes through the landing page. Those come back to the reporting and analysis sector, so you can actually now take people from content, bring them through the landing page or offer, collect their data, get the initial conversions started, then look at the reporting and analysis in Tune. And then there's the follow-up sales conversations and sales systems that are also part of the CRM, or what we call the Profit Engines tool, right, that bring people through to final revenue. And that is where everybody wants to be, right? They want to go from a piece of content or an ad through a landing page to a piece of follow-up system that will give them a revenue or sale in the case of many of the clients that we work with. And then obviously we have reviews, which are all part of the automation. So that's really, this is an overview of a high-level overview of Profit Engines, and we're really excited to get this started. The book will be out in the beginning of the year, and we're going to start working on showing each piece of this as we go through our Profit Engines journey. And in fact, we're going to use Profit Engines itself, the website, as an example on how this will work. So stay tuned for more information on this. It's going to be very interesting to see this whole thing develop. And thanks for listening. Again, it's Matt Coffey, and you're listening to the Profit Engines podcast. Thank you again for listening. Hey, this is one last chance to get you to take action. If you need help, we are here. You can certainly go to one of our agencies. PracticeBloom.com is the #1 spot for medical marketing if you need help with that. Or if you are a general business, you can go to CustomerBloom.com. You can always reach me directly, Matt, MATT.coffee, COFFY, at CustomerBloom.com. Happy to have anybody come and ask me any questions. We are here to support your journey and to help build your business.